Hi guys, welcome to Tarot for Tired People. I am S, your resident tired girl, and welcome back if you've been here before. Today, we're looking at 10 must-have mass market tarot decks for beginners, 2025 version. These are decks that are affordable, widely available, and versatile enough to grow with you as your practice deepens. Let's get started. This is one of the most popular starter decks for a reason. Even my friend, this is the first deck she ever had. It's one of the first decks I ever had. And I feel like it's all over. This is a very old deck, of course, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. But I think it is because while it is not an RWS clone, I think it is so mystical and it's so pretty that people tend to connect with it instantly, no matter what their style of art that they prefer. And because the titles are very clearly drawn, even though it is not an RWS clone, I have somehow seen this to be everybody's first deck. I don't know why. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people start with something else, but it is definitely a beginner friendly deck. Not from the perspective of being an RWS clone, which is super descriptive of the symbology, but more of being a very pretty deck that kind of charges up your intuition and you are able to think for yourself if you know the basic structure of tarot. It's a very loud speaker, let's say, and you are not going to go wrong with it. And it's definitely a deck that should be in every beginner's collection. And you will definitely learn a lot more when you're reading with it, as it's a very intuitive reader. So definitely for personal practitioners that are just starting out, I would recommend this one. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. A more recent release is the Star Maiden Tarot. It kind of combines cosmic imagery with grounded symbolism. It's beginner friendly, and if you're the kind who does tarot at night, this I don't know. This was again a deck that I feel is quite beginner friendly because of how it is an RWS clone. The title of the card is very clearly written and it has a very gentle energy. So you're not triggered by cards that are depicting archetypes that are not necessarily positive. And even when you're looking at the Four of Cups or Death, you're not really triggered tremendously by it, or even a Nine of Swords, but you understand the essence of Nine of Swords very clearly from a card like this. So this is why I would say that for a beginner in 2025, this is definitely a deck you would want to get just because the color palette is gorgeous. It is gentle. It will grow with you and it will stay with you. It is very versatile and works for all kinds of readings, honestly. A lot of us use tarot decks, sit with really deep tarot readings at night to kind of go over, how the day went or, further questions. And this is really good because it has that sort of color palette. And even a Five of Pentacles, which tends to be quite a strong card, here it is like a calm, there's a sadness to this card, but it is not a triggering card. So this is why this is my second choice for beginner friendly decks and mass market ones that are affordable. The Star Maiden Tarot by US Game Systems. And I think I bought it for like, I don't know, it goes for $25 or something. Very easy, buy it on Amazon, super simple. Before we get on to the other decks, I just want to make a quick note on guidebooks because I'm not a very big guidebook person. I don't go by guidebooks of every decks only because I feel it breaks the flow of my reading. My reading is like meditation and I don't want to keep going into a guidebook at that time. But when you're learning and you're a beginner and you don't know the meanings by heart and you will have to look at your flashcards, etc. But all of these decks that I'm showing have very good guidebooks that are descriptive, that like I may not go through each of the guidebooks, but that doesn't mean their guidebooks are not good or that they don't have guidebooks. They're pretty good and they kind of tell you why they have drawn the card the way they have drawn. And what I wanted when I was a beginner was one reference guide, which is really short and simple. And I bought this off Amazon and it really helped me. I bought it for $10. It's called The Beginner's Guide to Card Meanings and Spreads. Beyond all the other tarot books that you will read, I use this as a reference guide. So this, forget the introduction and all of those things. This is super beginner friendly because let me show you what it does is you can see my highlighted bits also. So it has two pages for each card, even the minor arcana, and it tells you the upright key meanings in keywords in reversed, numerology, astrology. It tells you what the symbology of the card in RWS is, what the message is in general reading, in love reading, in career, personal, reversed, and a reflection of how do you identify with the emperor. This is a book that I used a lot. It was always with me. Like, look at me here underlining, you are feeling healthier inside and out after overcoming a period of sadness for the sun. So this is a very good reference guide. The second reason why I think this is a very good reference guide for super beginner that wants to learn by doing, you've got ADHD, you've got a bunch of neurodivergent problems, don't have a lot of attention, this is a good book to go for because it explains the minor arcana really well. Like, for example, minor arcana cups. So it says the cups represent the elemental suit of water. Now, when you're new to tarot, it's very difficult to kind of connect the suits with the elements. But I love how she does it. She says an easy way to remember that cups are associated with emotions, love and feelings is to think about the phrases, my cup runneth over. You can't pour from an empty cup. And is the glass half full or half empty? So she uses idioms that we use in our everyday speaking to kind of connect you with the suits and the elements in a way where you're not going to forget it. So like minor arcana pentacles, it says easy way to remember it is to think about the phrase, money doesn't grow on trees, yet money is made of paper and paper comes from trees. So she really simplifies it and it acts like your reference guide. Yes, you will need other tarot books to read and understand, but this one is just incredible as a reference guide. And this is why I did not need every guidebook of every deck that I was working with because I had this one. I love this one and I love the digital meaning library that is there by this website called Labyrinthus. I'll put it in the post at the editing stage here. Their meanings are also really beautiful. These are the two I used as reference guides when I was learning and trying to understand the meanings. Okay, so the next one that we have is Everyday Witch Tarot. This is an RWS clone. It is truly a clone and it has charm and it has energy and it's witchy. And you may feel like it's too young, but honestly, it gave me some beautiful readings. Till date, if I have too much anxiety and I'm pulling not from a great place of calm, I would turn to this deck just because it can really calm you down. And like, I love that the Five of Pentacles in this deck is not just them being outside, but them moving, walking towards the cottage, that has the pentacles. So I like that it's a very hopeful deck and that it's an RWS clone. So you understand the meanings and the symbology really well from this. And this is why it's definitely a part and should be a part of every beginner's collection. And it's super affordable. It's easy to understand. And what else? It's playful. End of the day, it will not challenge you as much and will sit with you. And it has that sense of friendship and the warmth and everything that you're looking for in a beginner friendly deck. So this is the Everyday Witch Tarot. It also comes with a humongous box and book, which is now in storage, so I'm not able to show you. And I love the backs, guys. How cute are the backs? Of course, every beginner should have at least one straightforward Rider-Waite Smith deck. Even if you don't reach for it every day, it's a foundation, right? And you would have learned, and you would have needed one to learn, even if you were learning with a different deck. I have one Radiant RWS copy. You can see each of the suits and the major arcana is in rubber bands because I would tackle, like when I was learning, I would tackle each of these every day, every week or whatever, and kind of learn that particular whatever. Like if I was learning major arcana, then this would be together. I wanted to show you guys how I still have it in the same way because I don't really read from it. I used it when I was learning and it really helped because you wouldn't know what is an RWS clone if you don't know how the symbology in the RWS is. And between all the RWS that are there, you can choose one as a beginner that you want to start with. Like I have all of these divided into various, I have them with rubber bands because every week I would try to learn one suit and that's how I would go about it. Every learner is different. There's no right or wrong way in learning. But I think every beginner should have one RWS edition, whichever one you pick and that you're most connected to. There are many, many options out there and you can choose whichever you feel closest to. I like the Radiant RWS edition. This is the one that it is. Tarot is a very personal journey. So there are decks that you would love, styles that you would love. That is not, every tarot tuber's most favorite deck, and that's fine. Therefore, I wanted to show people, you guys, art styles of different kind that are still beginner friendly. This is the old style tarot. I absolutely love it because I like my tarot decks a little bit with historical imagery or art, etc. And this one is by US Game Systems again. It comes with this guidebook, and the cards are gorgeous. Like, I absolutely freaking love them. They are stunning cards. They have a lot going on. So there's a lot, it's very descriptive. It's very old school and Victorian and medieval, or all of that. It is old style, truly. And therefore it has that big energy that I love in my tarot decks. Like, look at this Eight of Wands. It is absolutely stunning. I love how gorgeous this deck is, and it's very beginner friendly. You will be able to understand, when you're just starting out. It is not a modern deck. And if you're doing a beginner collection, this should be part of it. If you're into historical art, if you're not, it's fine. I understand. I'm into it. So for me, I would recommend this. And that's why I'm trying to do different styles in this video, as you can tell. But this one is stunning. And let's look at Queen of Wands. We have Queen of Wands here with Sunflower. This video is about you guys, not me. So we will go through the guidebook. Let's see Queen of Wands. So here they give you a small black and white image, upright meaning, like the queen, you may find yourself struggling for independence as you strive to reach your goals and success, leadership skills, and inspired plan, career development, business activity, desire to become popular, to fulfill your potential, passionate person. Card's advice: a real leader must know how to assert herself, show her confidence in the real world, and you will get your throne. Reversed, unachieved ambitions. The warning: you're limited by your own demons, including pride and vanity. No goal is worth trampling over other people. Quick answer: yes, if you can, fully assert yourself. So you see how the reason I don't do guidebook, this is not a video about that, I'm sorry, but is because I feel like the meanings of cards change as you go about tarot and your walk with tarot, and then you form particular meanings based on the meanings um, from from the system of tarot. But your readings are going to create your own meaning for that particular card. So therefore, going into a guidebook and looking at what they said sort of creates this unconscious bias, which may not be very good for you. Like, for example, if you go in here and the reference guide that I had for Queen of Wands. Oh, they also have this list at the end. Feminine energy of intuitive creativity. General reading indicates an invitation to step fully into your power, own your ambition, and allow yourself to take on leadership opportunities. As you claim your power, know that you're guided and protected now and always. Your confidence and sense of worthiness are elevated. Your reality will rise to match your energy. Then there's a love, and then in career reading, how that works. So for me, this worked a lot better because it was not as biased. As you could tell when I was reading this, it was a very biased advice of, oh, you can win if you don't trample over others. It's not worth it. Who are you to tell me that? Like, this I like. Like, okay, here the reverse says indicates doubting your value or worthiness and feeling as though others do not recognize your qualities within you. Reflection: what do you want to create by harnessing the passionate energy of Queen of Wands? So I feel like you should have an unbiased guide, whichever book you choose that you go by, instead of every guidebook of every tarot deck, because the tarot deck might be great, but the writing in that tarot deck's guidebook may not agree with you. It will always be that author's takeaway of what that particular deck, that card means to them. And these meanings over the years change for all readers. It has changed for me. What I considered Queen of Wands and how I see it now, two different meanings. But and you'll understand it as you go by. So yeah, that is my one advice. We continue. Next up, we have a challenging deck, because why not? And that's the Tarot of the Abyss. So the Tarot of the Abyss is a stunning black and white deck, as you can tell, but it does stretch beyond the basics. And I wanted to include some because you could be a beginner and still work with a deck like this. This particular deck has brilliant energy, though I have heard from people where it's either going to connect with you a lot or it's not going to connect with you at all. And here, I know that she has got, it's an 80 card deck with two alternate cards for 10 of swords, and I think 3 of swords. I have kept in both in my deck because, especially the 10 of swords, they have two separate meanings, and this is the guidebook. We'll come to that later. Now, let's look at the cards. They're stunning because it's really well done. It's black and white. So it's a completely different style again. It's like pencil sketches. You're going through somebody's sketchbook and it's very emotive. Like, look at that 9 of swords or the Queen of Pentacles. It's very emotive. This is the first 10 of swords, and you can feel the the despair almost in him. Very emotive, as I said. This is the other, here you go. Here's the first 10 of swords, and here's the second 10 of swords, which is more alchemical, which is more intellectual. So this one is very different from this one, and this is why I keep both. And even if you are a beginner, you would be able to work with it if the energy connects with you. If it's a deck that doesn't connect with you, that's true for any deck. It might be super beginner friendly, but it's an energetic tool end of the day. And if your subconscious does not connect with it, and is not able to speak through it, then, so be it. Like, I love the 3 of wands here because it's like a ship that is either going out or coming into harbor. Like, I love it because end of the day, in colonial times, that's how you explored the world, and that's how you went beyond your land, and that's really the essence of that future expansion of 3 of wands. Like the 10 of cups, I love it. So Instagram style of two people holding hands. Remember when this was a trend on Instagram? So yeah, this is definitely a classic deck, and I think a beautiful deck. This 9 of pentacles is my significator in this deck. By significator, I mean a card that continuously shows up for you, and it is just like, even the lovers is two trees together. Like, it's just an incredible deck, guys, and it's very different. So this is why I've added it. And even if you are a beginner, you will be able to read it. Now, shall we look for Queen of Wands here to see how it reads for this particular guidebook? And then we can go about it like that. I should have thought about that before, but I think the last example kind of explained to you how guidebooks are not going to be your one and only source. I know it's a debating thing on TarotTube. Like, the Justice card has scales in her eye. Like, it's stunning. It's a stunning deck, is what I would say. Now, I have to do this. Uh, Look at the backs. How nice are the backs? Okay, so we have our Queen of Wands here. She is quite meditative. She's quite, there's a fire there. And then we look for her here. The Queen of Wands sits meditatively in front of a growing fire. Having received the fuel from the Page of Wands and Fire Elemental from the Knight of Wands, she bears the all-important task of igniting that fire. While the court cards before her provided the raw materials for the fire, her function is to bring the fire into being. As a queen should, she tends to the fire with great care and ability, seeing that it remains lit, sharing its vital warmth and light. The Queen of Wands in a reading indicates a warm, outgoing individual in your life. She is one who is dedicated and will give her total attention to any task she undertakes. It is her ability to focus her energy inward that allows her to harness the creative energy, shouldn't be grammatical mistake, it should be creative energy of the suit of wands. Like any queen, she's confident in her abilities and optimistic in nature. So here in this guidebook, as you can see, it almost points to someone else. It clearly says she's an outgoing individual in your life, saying it's not you. This is why I would rather, if you're a beginner, to have one reference guide that you're going for meanings so you can play around with your decks. Otherwise, the meanings get quite convoluted based on what that person wants to write in their guidebooks. That's the Tarot of the Abyss. So the Magical Hours Tarot is a very new deck. It's from 2025, and it is visually striking and reads like a classic. It's technically an RWS clone, but the imagery is really powerful and descriptive, so you're going to like it. It's very descriptive. It's very strong. It has some gorgeous digital art that the creator does this kind of superimpositions, and it's like, look at that devil card. It's just stunning. I need to stop using the word stunning 500 times. But even the 9 of swords in this deck Brilliant. I usually judge a deck by the High Priestess card, and here it's not very nice, but I still went ahead and got this one. And I think as a beginner, you should have this deck because it is very powerful and it gives you very clear readings. And when I got this, I was using only this. Like for the longest time, I was not reaching out to any of my other decks because it was just, it's a kind of art that really connects with me. Again, I've tried to include all kinds of styles of art, just in case you connect with some other type. That's absolutely fine. And I hope that everyone finds, a type of deck here that they really connect with. And if you are liking this video, now is a good time to, hit the like button, to subscribe, and all of those good things. Like, I love that this is like a modern version of Tarot of Mystical Moments. Like, look at that Five of Pentacles. It's stunning. Yeah, so please hit the like and subscribe. Give my new creator, that is me, some, leave a comment. Tell me if you like this video. Oh, here's a world card. So this is the Magical Hours Tarot. Now, in this particular deck, let me put it back properly. We have, this is the box it comes with. There's a box in a box situation. And this is the guidebook. And the way they have done it is, they've done the structure is RWS based, yes. But they also have this thing about the hours of the day. In nature, time is ever-changing and magical. The light changes every hour. Each moment of the day is inhabited by insects, flowers, and animals that follow one another in the natural ancient rhythm that marks time, days, and seasons. In this deck, we can follow the path of the sun and the moon. Through one day and night, we will meet fantastic and real creatures, guardians of the dawn, the twilight, the deep night. The major arcana describes a time cycle from sunrise to sunset to full night, ending with the new dawn. The deck is a journey through time, space, and dreams. So that's the theme of the deck, okay? Now, let's look for the Queen of Wands, because we are doing this thing and looking at how guidebook changes the meaning of a card. So it's better if we have a constant with one card. Like, look at that Tower card, guys. It's fantastic. You're not going to go wrong with it if you like this kind of art. I know some people don't, and that's okay, because again, such a personal journey. I mean, where is the Queen of Wands hiding? Oh, look at that Eight of Swords. Fantastic. One of my favorite cards here. And the Nine of Pentacles is, of course, on the cover because it is a gorgeous, gorgeous card. We are still looking for, did we already see the Queen? Because she hasn't come up yet. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. Ah, there you go. That's the Queen of Wands. We got her. Finally, we meet her. So that's her. And obviously, this has the wand thing. And let's see. There's the sunflower. There's all of that. Let's see how the guidebook reads. Here, Queen of Wands. Dawn plants. Every queen is a witch, and in every queen shines. So you get the colored card, yeah? Shines the creative light of the Empress. Without a doubt, here we are in the presence of someone who is the most magical and charismatic witch of the four queens of the court. She's moved by passion and vision, rarely doubts herself, and moves with confidence, shifting the magic around her. She knows what she wants and she knows how to get it. In her dwells the magic of fire, the warmth of the flame. She is often accompanied by a black cat who looks directly at us from this card. He is her familiar, or she herself may be a shapeshifter. The engine of her actions is everything she believes in and for which she is willing to burn, making herself flame and light for others as well. So here it kind of just describes who the Queen of Wands is, but there's no direct insight in the, how you're going to take that meaning from in a reading. That's fine. This is just, we're just checking out guidebooks and seeing how the meanings change across guidebooks, which was not the point of this video, but this point became the point halfway through this video, and that's fine with us. So that is the Magical Hours Tarot. It comes with another box, which I have kept in storage. So another mass market gem for beginners is Curious Travels Tarot deck, another new deck by US Game Systems. It is beautifully crafted. Everything about this deck is absolutely gorgeous. It's a very well produced deck. The reason I've included this is because a beginner can read with it. An experienced reader can read with it. It's very clear. Let me see. Can I move it a little bit? It's a very clear deck. It has animal energy and human energy. It is this watercolor art, which is very calming. It gives very good readings. It's got this gold foiling. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but it's got this gold foiling. The cardstock is excellent. You'll be able to shuffle this really well. Well, I chose all the decks that you would be able to shuffle really well because I'm not a riffle shuffler. I'm an overhand shuffler myself. So I obviously prefer decks that can be shuffled well. And the colors are not too muted and they're not too, like, look at the High Priestess. It's stunning, right? And it has a bit of everything. It has the natural vibes, it has the human vibes, it's got the whimsical vibes. So depending on the vibes you're going with, I think this would be something that would appeal to everybody. And if you're a beginner, you have certain things that are important for a beginner, I think, and that's you want to know exactly what the card is. You have the Page of Pentacles, so you have that written in words. You want it to sort of show you in a descriptive way how it is in RWS, but I didn't want to just show RWS clones because I wanted to show decks that can sort of deepen your readings and deepen your understanding without you having to struggle. So you would understand Nine of Pentacles, or the Sun, even if it is the Two of Cups. It has snakes. So it's different. It's not a clone, but it is not, you won't struggle with it if you're a beginner, is what I'm trying to say. You will be able to understand it. It's very intuitive. That's the right word I was looking for. So it comes with a guidebook, and we're going to read the guidebook. Now, in my chit chat, I don't know if we missed Queen of Wands. Oh, there you go. No, this is Swords. Sorry. We found our Queen of Wands, guys. This is the Queen of Wands. This is the backs, which is really gorgeous. Keep that there. And we'll look for... It's a very pretty guidebook, for sure. Like, look how pretty it is. It's well designed. Queen of Wands adorned with beautiful red robes and sunflower. The Queen of Wands is sunshine personified. Sitting on a throne with budding wand in her hand, she smiles as a black cat in her lap. Should be on her lap. What is with the grammatical errors in these guidebooks? I don't understand. Alluding to her quieter, darker self, she pets the cat, embracing these dark characteristics just as much as her joyous ones. You're fiery and passionate about achieving your dreams, and you're doing so flawlessly. The confidence you exude has attracted the attention of others, and you're basking in this well-deserved attention. This card encourages you to keep branching out socially, as you're wonderful at first impressions. Everyone loves listening to you. And what you have to say encourages you to embrace the side of yourself you choose to keep secret. Let people see all that you have to offer. And then there's a reverse. You have recently gone through an internal upheaval, reflecting on yourself and your personal values. Be proud. You're stronger and more self-assured than you have ever been. Take this as a sign of reassurance that you're on the right path, whatever it may look like. Not all successes must be broadcasted socially, so do not worry if you're not an extrovert. Your greatest supporter lives right inside your own head. Not badly written. I would give it that. Also, I had to check that on her lap and in her lap, apparently both are grammatically correct. So I'm not going to diss them for that. It just, sometimes some phrases just sound wrong. And that's how it sounded to me. But anyway, we'll move on. I couldn't get over it. I had to go check it out. So this is the Curious Travels Tarot. This video is going everywhere possible. Okay, the 9th deck we have is Ethereal Visions. You would have seen these backs 1,000 times on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, I don't know what to say to you. I just don't. There is a more inclusive version, but I don't understand this inclusive and diverse stuff because brown people are not included in inclusive things. So so this is Ethereal Visions. I like this version because I, again, like historical art. This one is a gorgeous Art Nouveau style deck. It is not very intuitive, right? And honestly, I bought it for TikTok because I saw it so many times on TikTok. But because it has these zoomed in images, it is not bad for if you're a beginner. I would give it that. It has got the ethereal sense to it. Let's put it that way. And I still think that a beginner would be able to read with it without feeling like struggling with it or feeling like it's too much. And I'm not going to go over the guidebook. I'm just going to show the guidebook because it's an airy deck. Some decks are airy and there's nothing wrong in it. you will see thousands and thousands of TikTok readings with it because it appeals to the public. So if you're a beginner that also wants to kind of have clients, this would work with your clients in the same way as it works on TikTok. So this is the Ethereal Visions, and there is a Ethereal Visions Luna version, which is supposed to be more inclusive, because I think when this came out, people said it's not very diverse, but the most inclusive decks out there don't include brown people. So I really don't have any say about these things. I like it. If I like a deck, I'll buy it. Yes, even if it's an AI deck. So the last one, the 10th deck we have is another challenge deck, and this is the most challenging deck that I will be including in this list. It's the Herbcrafter's Tarot. It's by US Game Systems again, and it is actually a very pretty deck. It is really gorgeous. Anyway, I'll show you now. And the reason I've included it is actually because of the guidebook. So let me go through this. So why this is a challenging deck is because as a beginner, you don't want your cards renamed. And they have done that. They've done that here. You don't have anything except herbs and stuff. You have everything that has been renamed. So you have Ace of Earth and you have Nettle, then the Chariot. Like there's nothing here that you can go by as a beginner. I understand. And I'll come to why I've included it in a little bit. Let's look at the cards first. So it is a very, very pretty deck. It works so beautifully. It's got that summer energy. It's got, some people were showing it in their autumn decks because it just makes you want to be in that kitchen, and it's got such a beautiful, warm, grandmother almost energy. And look at that Hierophant, and you'd be like, why is she including this deck here? A, it's pretty, so I think you should have it. And B, I feel like, why do you want to be only working with beginner decks? It will make you feel like, oh, actually, I cannot read any other kind of deck. And that's not true. I gifted my friend who has the Tarot of Mystical Moments. She's a beginner too. And I gifted her this deck for her birthday because when a deck is challenging, when you don't have the RWS to go by, you should have at least one challenging deck in your collection that you learn to read and train your intuition on and see what kind of readings you get from it, right? And this is why I've included the challenging decks, because when there is nothing there that follows the structure in the image, there's no symbolism, there's none of that. You only have your intuition to go by. And this is how I think this deck would be good for you if you're a beginner. And now, let me explain why. So, as you see with this deck, let's put out, let's say, 4 cards. We're only getting major arcana. You have 5 of Earth. I wanted to show you guys, and you have Madre of Earth. So that's a quote card that also has been renamed. So yeah, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't read this. But the guidebook is actually really good because the guidebook is it's not structured according to the suits. It's structured by numerology. So that's something I love in this guidebook. So you have aces. Aces, weed, starting point, possibility. So this would really help you in understanding the numerological significance in tarot in the perspective of the ace cards feature herbs, most of us know as weeds, found easily in nature. They are not usually cultivated intentionally, but eradicated. They're ancient medicine with long history of use, etc. About the herbs. They are referred to as dooryard herbs because they are found right at our doorsteps. They are gateways into the world of herbcraft. In the first mini drama, which is Aces 2 to 3, Aces 2 and 3, you're a beginner on your path. The herbs of the Aces initiate the Herbcrafter into the world of plant medicine. Meeting these plants, she becomes excited, hopeful, and filled with possibility. Her experience triggers a somatic remembering of ancient ways and invites a deeper knowing. The Aces, like the acorn, contain stories of ancestors as well as the promise of the future. The herbs of the Aces inspire a fresh view towards your calling. And then they have Ace of Air, and ace of fire, ace of water. And then they have the twos. So I think it is really important to understand as a whole what the twos stand for, right? The fact that it stands for choice. So the twos feature plants, etc. They attract birds. She now meets her first challenge as her awareness grows beyond weeds. She encounters the difficulties facing the botanical world. Still a beginner, she learns how her choices affect the ecosystem. So I feel this guidebook is very good in teaching you the understanding of the numbers, and also when you constantly draw, these elements, it's a very nice way to understand and connect the cards. Like five of earth is a good way for you to understand that is five of pentacles. So you have here five: conflicts, adversity, threat. So what the five signifies, and then how the Herbcrafter is going through that journey. And then you can go to your five of earth, and you have, which is the slippery elm. Economic and physical hardship may cause stress. Setbacks can take you by surprise and reduce vitality. Alienation from your support system compounds the issue. While slippery elm is a valued botanical, for the first few years of life, the bark provides medicine for inflammation and materials for baskets. So you will still get the meaning of the card, but your brain will automatically be able to connect better with the elementals of the suits, and understand the logic behind, the fives and the aces and the twos, without you having to keep going back into the books, because I think that's the challenging part. And this is why I've included this as a challenging deck that beginners should have, so that it helps them. It's like, when you're learning swimming, I don't know how it is in your country. In ours, you were in the baby pool for like 5 days. Then they just dropped you in the big pool and you had to learn and help yourself. And this is the big pool. This is, you jump into this big pool, which is still easy to read in the sense of it's beautiful art, but it's a big pool. So you as a beginner get to challenge yourself and look at, okay, six of air. And the guidebook is actually really, really good to tell you how sixes work, how air works, and what the meaning of that card of six of swords is, right? And these are my 10 mass market must-have decks for beginners. I try to include all kinds of, art and levels within the beginner level, because I don't want people to be stuck in level 1 of beginner. I think beginner can be level 1 to 10, and I want you to challenge yourself constantly, because that's how you learn more, right? And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and bye. I'll see you next time.